Everybody told me Jay was corny and whack. Everybody told me not to f with him. And I did it, and look what happened.
Conspiracy against me, you know, because in the absence of the truth, bullshit will prevail. So as long as nobody out there spitting real, you know, you can come up with anything.
How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again.
Okay, y'all, get ready because Dame Dash is back. Again. And this time, he is not holding back. He is calling out Jay-Z and his so-called mentor, Lyor Cohen, spilling some serious tea on how they allegedly came together to sabotage none other than DMX. Yes, DMX. And baby, fans are coming for Jay-Z like never before. People are calling him out left and right for being a total hypocrite. I mean, how can you go around acting like you're all for the culture, preaching about lifting up black artists, when behind the scenes you're allegedly cutting down your own people just to climb higher? Now Dame is lifting the veil, pulling back the curtain, and letting it all out. He's accusing Jay and Lyor of taking down powerful black artists like DMX to boost their own position. And what's worse, DMX saw it. He knew what was going down. He tried to speak up, but of course nobody listened, until it was way too late.
The industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent, it's about playing the game. The industry, real niggas is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in.
So here's the thing, Dame Dash and Jay-Z, their beef has been one-sided and messy for years. And yeah, people have always been quick to say Dame's just bitter, just obsessed with Hov. But according to Dame, it ain't even about that. It's way deeper. Dame said this over and over, but nobody ever seems to tell it right. He claims the real issue isn't just Jay, it's the people Jay chooses to work with. Yep, people like Lyor Cohen. And listen to this. Dame believes these music execs are making bank off black culture, all while pushing this toxic image of that same culture as wild and dangerous. You know who was one of the first to speak up about this? DMX. Let's rewind for a sec. In 2004, Jay-Z took over as president of Def Jam, stepping into Lyor's shoes. That move gave Jay complete control of the Rockefeller catalog, and it shoved Dame and Biggs right out of the picture. Cold, right? But for Dame, what really stung wasn't just losing the label, it was watching Jay betray his own people and basically let Lyor treat him like some kind of puppet. Imagine that betrayal.
My beef was with Lyor because I think he's a fake CEO and I think he's fronting on my culture, but he can't front on anybody else. You know what I mean? It was like they have people that their job is to create beef so that they can monetize it, pause, but they don't let.
And guess who Dame thinks got totally thrown under the bus by Jay? Yep, DMX. Now, Jay's never actually admitted to this, of course. He's tried to play it cool, brushing it off like X was just too competitive. He even went on LeBron James's show after X died and acted like there was never any beef. He claimed DMX just loved to compete. Sure, Jay.
A competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever, not even my...
But hold on, DMX told a different story. According to X, Jay was the one caught up in the competition. And remember, DMX was already a massive star at that point. 5 #1 albums under his belt before Jay even stepped into that president chair. But as soon as Jay got that position, DMX said it was like hitting a wall. Suddenly things weren't moving. X told The Breakfast Club that Jay actually sabotaged him on purpose. Why? Because Jay had changed his mind about retiring and wanted to clear out the competition before making a big comeback. That competition, Batavda.
Oh? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again.
But wait, it gets deeper. The reason DMX didn't trust Jay ran way beyond music. It had everything to do with Jay's cozy little relationships with the real shot callers in the industry. DMX wasn't afraid to name names either. He went off about shady execs like Lyor Cohen, who he believed had way too much power over the artists. And let's be real, X wasn't wrong.
A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry, you know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist.
Jay-Z, meanwhile, he was playing the game, and playing it well. He got super close to Lyor. So close, he even called the man his mentor in his book, Decoded. Can you believe this quote? Lyor Cohen, who I consider my mentor, once told me something that he was told by a rabbi about the 8 degrees of giving in Judaism. The highest level of giving, the 8th, is giving in a way that makes the receiver self-sufficient. Oh, okay, Jay. So now you and Lyor are all about being generous and lifting people up? Please. Knowing what we know about those two and the way they allegedly move behind the scenes, it's laughable. But who really is Lyor Cohen? You might know the basics. Born in New York City to Israeli immigrants, got his start managing rappers at Rush Productions, climbed the ladder at Def Jam, ran Warner Music, launched 300 Entertainment, then became YouTube's global head of music. But here's where things get really sketchy. People have been saying for years that Lear might be more than just an exec. Some even think he might be connected to certain intelligence agencies, using his power and connections in hip-hop to push an agenda. Sound wild? Maybe. But listen to this. Lear has actually been caught lying about his background multiple times. When he sat down with Vlad TV in October 2023, he was asked about his mom. First, he says she was a housewife. Then, oops, he lets it slip she actually worked for the Israeli government, and she helped him land a job at the National Bank of Israel. Phew!
Incredible parents, 3 other brothers, and just a loving, happy family. My dad was the head of psychiatry for Kaiser Permanente. And my mother was just a housewife and raising children, and just remarkable period of my life.
Now, I've always assumed that you were born in Israel because you have a slight accent when you speak. Have you heard this before?
Yeah, so my parents weren't immigrants because they weren't staying here.
Okay.
So my biological father was coming here just for his education. And my mother worked for the Israeli government. Mm-hmm. And so when I was born, I went straight back to Israel.
Oh, so you stayed there for a while.
I spent my first 3 years in Petah.
And don't get it twisted, this guy has been in messy drama before. No wonder Dame calls him a full-blown culture vulture. One prime example? When Lior appeared on The Breakfast Club talking about the opioid crisis, he brought up DMX and said he was heartbroken about X's struggles with addiction. But then Charlemagne hit him with the real question. Why do you keep signing artists who glorify drug use, especially during a literal opioid epidemic? And what did Lior say? Basically, that's just business. Really?
A real bad drug problem, DMX.
I'm so sad. DMX, there's 2 people inside of him. And the Earl is one of the nicest people. I put him up in Lake George. Earl loved being silent with a fishing pole. I shit you not. He just would stay on that dock hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, very, very sad. You know, I think the opiate problem, the syrup problem, is the biggest problem that I've ever seen and I've ever faced, and been a part of. And I can't fuck with it. You know, the crack thing was devastating, but at least the rappers were bringing a spotlight to you becoming a fiend. Okay, and I thought that spotlight, head crack, helped, even though it was harsh and really really rough, particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup, and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
Don't you think that's hypocritical though? You're saying the
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Then came the moment of truth. Charlemagne mentioned Dame Dash calling him a culture vulture, and Lior lost it, acted like he didn't even know who Dame was. Yeah, okay, Mariah, but guess what? That was all the proof Dame needed. He clapped back on Instagram hard. He said, Thanks for this liar, Cohen, for proving my point in true culture vulture form. They make money off of us and then try to erase our true history and act like the real ones never existed. He pays his bills at the expense of us. And then it got downright creepy. Dame said that as soon as he started calling Lior out in public, the police got involved. Yep, the cops, which only made those rumors about Lior having ties to intelligence feel a lot more real. But the absolute lowest point? Lior's so-called tribute at DMX's funeral. X's memorial happened on April 25th, 2021 in Brooklyn. Did Lior show up? Nope. He sent a video. And in it, he said nobody was surprised that DMX OD'd, called him a gremlin who crashed into a wall. Excuse me? He recorded that and had it played at DMX's actual funeral. It felt like mockery, like a final jab. And Jay-Z still calls this man his mentor? Now it's making sense why DMX wanted nothing to do with either of them. X wasn't just a rapper, he was a truth teller, and he was loud about the industry's dirty secrets. He said he got blackballed for not kissing up to execs and refusing those shady dinner invites. He even put it all in his track, The Industry, exposing how the game really works and how young talent gets used up and tossed aside. And don't forget, DMX literally said the devil came to him multiple times, each time with tempting offers, but always with strange, twisted strings attached. And now we're back to Dame Dash, because people love to drag him for always bringing up Jay-Z. He's stuck in the past, they say. He's bitter, they shout. And yeah, maybe he is still mad, but let's be honest, does that automatically make him wrong? See, Dame's not the only one saying this stuff. Plenty of folks in the industry are whispering the same things, but they're just too scared to say it out loud. Why? Because the second you speak up against Jay, you're labeled a hater, bitter, washed up, done. That's exactly what happened to DMX. He tried to speak his truth about how Jay sabotaged his album, how shady the industry was. He went on The Breakfast Club and told it like it is. And what did people do? They clowned him, called him jealous, said Jay was just the smarter businessman. But now that DMX is gone, all of a sudden everybody wants to say, you know what? Maybe he was telling the truth. Now y'all want to listen? That's the part that hurts. And that's why some fans are standing with Dame now. Petty or not, at least he's got the guts to say what everyone else is scared to admit. He's not sugarcoating it. He's not playing nice. He's saying exactly what he feels about Jay-Z, loud, raw, and unapologetic. One fan even said, that's always been the pattern with Dame. Anytime someone brings up Jay and Dame answers honestly, people jump in the comments like, why he always talking about Jay? And they're right. It's like people don't want the truth. They want silence. Twitter's the worst with it too. They paint Dame out to be the villain, like he's the problem. But somebody else chimed in and said, man, I miss DMX. He kept it 100 all the time. Everything he said about these weirdos in the industry is coming out now like a flood. He'd be cooking these clowns if he was still here. Rest in power, Ten Hu. That part gave me chills. And now it's your turn. What do you think? Is Dame doing too much by always going at Jay-Z? Or is he the only one bold enough to say what everyone's been too afraid to admit for years? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation, it's far from over. And trust, I'll catch you in the next one.